Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Merlin. Last time on Merlin, we had Gawain. Merlin and Arthur met a guy named Gawain in a tavern, and he helped beat up some thugs with Arthur and Merlin. And then those thugs decided to be all magic-y and try to kill Arthur, but luckily Gawain was there to help save the day. Yeah. Pretty decent episode, honestly. It was a lot like Lancelot, but in a good way. And at the end, Gawain went on his way, and we don't know if we'll ever see him again. I don't know. Lancelot got a sequel episode, so it's possible. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. This is also where I say that if you want to watch my reaction on this episode of Merlin, it is unfortunately not in this video due to copyright reasons. So what you gotta do is head down in the description or to the pinned comment on this video. There'll be a link there. You click that, it'll take you to my reaction highlight, where the footage is in the corner and it's all edited and nice and good. You can watch that, you can hopefully have a good time, and when you're done with that, you can pop right back over here for the discussion of this episode of Merlin. So with that all being said, let's go ahead and get started. Here we go. Holy crap. That was quite the episode, wasn't it? Man, oh man. Oh man, that was quite the episode. And okay, the only thing is, so we're not going on the Game of Thrones logic of royal succession, because, Uther is her father. Her mother was not the queen, not Uther's wife. That makes her a bastard. Bastards, by Game of Thrones logic, at least, have no claim to the throne. They have no claim to the throne. So are we not going to run on that sort of logic? Are we not doing that? I mean, we're not, obviously. They said she has a legitimate claim to the throne. And the only thing... And if she gets rid of Uther, the only thing standing between her and the throne is Arthur. Her own brother. Wow, a lot was dropped in this episode. A lot was dropped in this episode. I feel like the premiere, the Tears of Uther Pendragon Part 1 and 2, that should have been the finale of last season. And then this should have been the premiere of this season. And don't get me wrong, the season 2 finale was great. But, wow! I can't even say, was this a mid-season finale, maybe? Because there's a lot. They dropped a lot in this episode. Like, a ridiculous amount of stuff happened in this episode. It just happened, you know? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah. Just, wow. So many things happened. There's still one final vision. There's one final vision that hasn't come true yet. And that's Morgana on the throne with the crown. That's still... I can only speculate that... Will that be the finale, maybe? I don't know. That feels so grand that would have to be a finale, you know? But at the same time, that's 8 episodes from now. That's 8 episodes from now. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I'm flabbergasted by how much was in that episode. After the last 2 episodes being okay, Goblin's Gold being just ridiculous, and Gawain just being Lancelot again, to throw us right back in, like, this is, on caliber with the Tears of Uther Pendragon. And this was just 1 episode, so, man, it was nuts. Alright. We should talk about the notes. Let's get into them. The first thing I wrote down was Fallen Kings. The Valley of the Fallen Kings, basically. That was interesting. For a while, I kind of thought we were just going to stay there, but we didn't. So, that was interesting, and they were just kind of being chased by bandits that just happened to... it's just an ordinary day for Arthur and Merlin. And then they found the Valley of the Fallen Kings, which could be cursed. But more likely, it's that people, well, not really know of the Crystal Cave, but, like, it kind of gives off a bad vibe, at least. It definitely one that Merlin sensed when he went in there, so that was interesting. And then the whole thing with, Arthur getting shot in the back. Basically, it was just a way so that, well, why is Merlin out here? Well, it would be Merlin and Arthur. Arthur's out here for some reason. Well, but now we have to get rid of Arthur so that we can, have Merlin do a thing in secret. So, yeah. What was the guy's name? Taliesin? Alright. Taliesin. Alright, he was interesting. I did like that. And I like how it's like, okay, well, he's actually been dead for years. He's been dead for years, for like 300 years, I think Gaia said. So he was interesting, and I like, he knows about Merlin, and he's calling him Emrys. So, that's nice. I'm sure the last time we heard the name Emrys, it was Mordred after Merlin almost got him killed. So we found the Crystal Cave, from which the Crystal of Neotid, and I would assume also Morghose's crystal, are both from. The Crystal Cave, which allows you to, well, get these magic crystals, and for some people, they can see the future. So Merlin got some more visions. Just kind of like the end of last season, where, because Merlin got visions about what was going to happen if he released the dragon. This time he got visions about Morgana. So that was interesting. So yeah, Morgana. So he got future visions of Morgana, in which it seemed like she was going to kill Uther. And here's the thing is, with visions like that, where it's like, it shows her with the dagger, and she's, and then it just cuts to, Uther's, and it's like, okay, unless you see that dagger go into his heart, I don't buy it. I just don't buy it, Like, you cannot interpret them, like, on a surface level, kind of. There's a plane going overhead that I doubt you can hear, but it's annoying me. Is that a plane? Yeah, that's a plane. It's a little annoying. Whatever. So, yeah. So with visions like that, where it's like you see just certain images, you can't really take them at surface level. You can't take them at surface level where it's like, okay, well, clearly I saw Morgana killing Uther. It's like, well, no, you saw. Excuse me. Sorry, something caught in my throat there. You saw Morgana with a dagger, and you saw Uther, be shocked by something. That doesn't mean he was actually stabbed. It means that Morgana pulled a dagger and Uther was shocked by something. And even that's not a cause and effect, So, it's the same thing of when he saw the vision of the dragon, he saw, the dragon attacking Camelot and Camelot burning. That didn't mean Camelot was going to be destroyed. It just means that Camelot at some point is going to be burning and the dragon is going to be shooting fire. That's all you saw, So that's the thing, is that I hope that now Merlin can figure out, how do you like allow you basically, because you basically have to allow the visions to happen. You have to allow the visions to happen, but you need to figure out, how do the visions work in your favor, basically. It's almost like you need to manipulate the visions so that while, yes, these visions do happen, it has to work out on your side. Now, if he actually saw an image of a dagger going right into Uther Pendragon's heart, now that's something different. How do you manipulate that? I don't know. Well, maybe you just... Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. So, but that's the thing, is that if you can't take these visions at surface value. Now, that being said, with the vision that didn't come true yet, the last vision that has not happened yet of Morgana sitting on the throne with the crown on her head. Yeah, okay, that might be a little harder. I will admit. But you could also say, okay, well, what if it's a coup? What if this isn't after, maybe instead of it being like after she kills Uther and Arthur, what if it's just a coup, basically? She just deposes Uther and Arthur and puts the crown on her own head, Uther and Arthur could still be alive, and then you go stop her, basically. So yeah, it's all tricky. Now, that being said, with these visions, I hope Merlin learns, because Merlin had a really big dumb fuck moment in this with the dagger. So, Arthur got a dagger, just a dagger, and he was like, what do you think? I'm going to give this to Morgana. What do you think? And Merlin's like, oh, yes, it's great. It's nice. It's plain and simple. It's like, plain and simple. It's like, well, I mean, daggers are good, but, girls really like pretty stuff, jewelry and stuff like that. And then Merlin's like, well, a job well done. She's not getting a really fancy dagger. And then Arthur gets her a really fancy dagger because he listens to what Merlin said. That kind of takes me back a bit. Remember when Merlin used to be a thundering dumbass? I don't even remember. I mean, okay, it's been so long, I don't remember like what his big moments were of being a dumbass, but I remember them. I remember that he used to be a dumbass, like specifically towards the beginning of the series, but that was a big dumbass move, And I guess I can kind of see, oh, well, he just wasn't thinking. He was just so relieved, He didn't think that Arthur would go get a different dagger that looked better. He was just like, oh, well, he took it at surface value again. He took it, he took it at the surface where it's like, oh, well, that's the dagger he got. That's it. So he didn't even think maybe Arthur will go get a better dagger. Now that you've said that, you dumb fuck. Anyway, I wrote down the stairs. that felt like a little much. Where, Merlin... What the hell is Merlin going to do? Just confront her right then and there? So he closed the doors, which knocked over the torches, which caused her to fall. Then she fell downstairs, which was hilarious, I have to say. And falling downstairs is kind of funny. So she fell downstairs, and then she hit her head, cracked her skull, and then it was all bad. It was all bad. Like that was a little. That was a lot. But I understand what they were going for. That Merlin thought he had fixed the future, and then he felt guilty. My arms look really huge when I do it like this. They look like 8 times. They are 8 times bigger than my head. They're not supposed to look like that. So perspective. Anyway, so Merlin was like, "Oh well, I guess I saved the future," and it's like, but now he feels guilty. He didn't feel guilty. Well, I mean, he did, but he was still gonna go through with poisoning her, He still tried to murder her at the end of last season, but when it's on accident, it feels bad. And just everyone in their gosh darn, sad puppy dog eyes crying over Morgana. Like, don't get me wrong, I get it. But at the same time, it's like, motherfucker, you tried to murder her. We could convict you on attempted murder right now. Like, just plain and simple. So, yeah, that was interesting. Man, Uther got serious, didn't he? When he was like, no, guys, I like how he was like trying to like lead Gaius on about like what to do. It's like, no, Gaius, you don't understand. Do anything to cure her, to save her. And he's like, there's got to be something. So many books, there has to be something. Maybe something in the old religion. Like, he was ready to go that far to save Morgana because drum roll please. Big bombshell of this one. Morgana is his daughter. Whoa! Morgana is his daughter. Now, they've said before that she and Morgause are half-sisters, which explains the multicolored hair the two of them have. Which I guess also explains why Arthur is blonde and she's a brunette. I dropped my pen. Yeah, because I guess Arthur gets his blonde hair from his mother. So, I would have to assume that Morgana gets her dark hair from Uther. Because she can't... Well, I mean, maybe she got... I guess it's possible that her mother also had dark hair. I don't know. They all have different hair. It's so... I don't know. It's interesting. Something I've always wondered. If you have... if two completely different people have one sibling in common, what do the two people become, I wonder? I've always wondered that. Because, Morgana is now Arthur's half-sister. So what is Morgause? What is Morgause to Arthur? Like, quarter sister, technically? Except not? I don't know, it's like a weird daisy chain, basically, between them all. So, anyway. So yeah, Morgana is actually Uther's daughter. Because one night, her who we thought was her father was out on the battlefield, and the wife was at home and lonely, and Uther took out his big swinging Camelot dick and... I'm sorry. But, okay. Uther is Morgana's father. I'm sorry, I took that too far. What a bombshell, man. And in episode 5, too. What a bombshell to drop on us. That is nuts, man. Nuts. Oh, boy. Merlin went to the dragon. That dragon is so done with him. Kilgara is so done with Merlin. He hates him. He absolutely hates him for all this crap. And that was the thing when I was thinking, like, okay, Merlin, if you want to help Morgana, it's like, what do? You can't really go to the dragon because the dragon didn't give a shit. And sure enough, the dragon didn't care. The dragon was like, oh, good, she's dying? Alright, good job, Merlin. And he's like, no, you need to help me cure her. And he's just like, fuck no, I'm not doing that. That's my best John Hurt impression. I will not do that. Yeah, alright, I'll stop with the impression. He was like, I'm not gonna fucking do that. And then Merlin was like, I'm a Dragon Lord, so yeah, you will. And he was like, Are you really gonna do this? Are you gonna pull rank on me? Are you gonna fucking pull rank? He's like, yeah, I'm pulling rank. And then he's like, fucking fine, I will help you. But whatever fucking happens because of Morgana is now on you, not me. And then he burped on him, and he got the then he got the cure, I guess. That's the thing too. Is like, cause he always like breathes on him. It's like, that's gotta stink. You don't know what the hell that dragon's been eating. You know, what do dragons eat anyway? Well, whatever they want, I guess. So yeah. So the dragon did give him the cure, which was interesting. But that he is so done with Merlin. It is hilarious, actually. Let's see. Claim to the throne. Again, does she have a claim to the throne? In that instance, I just realized how weird of a word "does" is. Does she have? Have you ever done that where like you just say a word that you normally always say? You know, it's just normal to say that word, but for some reason when you say it that time, it's really weird to say. Does. What the fuck is does? Oy. So yeah, I mean, it's obvious in this world she does have a claim to the throne. It's obvious that that's what they're going with, but I'm sorry, I'm used to Game of Thrones where it's like, you know, oh, if they find out, spoilers, if they find out Joffrey's a bastard, then he won't have a claim to the throne. That's why fucking Stannis Baratheon made war with Joffrey and everyone else, because he had the most legitimate claim to the throne. Because all of Robert's children, well, they weren't his children. They were bastards. You know? They were other people's bastards, too. That's why freaking Jon Snow couldn't be Lord of Winterfell, because he was a bastard. At least, you know, at first. So, yeah, obviously that's what they're going for, and I have to accept that in this. I have to accept that, yes, in this world, bastards do have claims to the throne. But she shouldn't. Because while she is the daughter of the king, she is not the daughter of the queen. So it shouldn't work. But I guess it will. And we're just going to have to move past that. The last thing I wrote down was caused. Merlin caused the future to happen. Because if he hadn't stopped her... If he hadn't stopped her, then she wouldn't have learned about who she really was, and then she wouldn't have tried to kill Uther. So, technically, yes, but at the same time, if he didn't stop her, she was going to kill him anyway. So it's like, it was kind of an unavoidable future that she was going to try to kill him. The best thing that Merlin did was actually, you know, he did cause the visions to come true, but he worked it to his favor, basically. He actually saved Uther by making those visions come true. So, that's the thing. He just needs to work with the future, you know? He needs to work with what he saw. You know, don't take it at just a surface level. You really need to figure out, what is this vision, and how can I make this vision work to my advantage? Again, Morgana on the throne with a crown on her head, that's a little tricky. But you need to figure it out. So, that's all I wrote down for this episode. Really, really great episode. A lot of twists and turns that I never saw coming. And yeah, just a crazy, crazy episode, but I did love it. And yeah, I will be curious to see where we're going with this plot line. So yeah, with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Merlin reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.